Guys, hope everyone's doing better. Um, so today we wanted to go ahead and get right to the point. We're going to be at Daniel, the book of Daniel. Quick recap: last time we were live, or that we recorded, we actually we're fast forward to Daniel. We're going to be in chapter one, verses one through three. So you guys have a book to follow along. So just a quick background versus Daniel was. Daniel was attacked from Jerusalem. In this period, in this time, we had two nations going on. We had Babylon, and we had Israelites, and they considered Jerusalem. So Daniel was basically attacked from Jerusalem after Babylon besieged Jerusalem. So we're going to read in regards to where we are, in regards to Daniel. Once again, we're reading Daniel 1, chapter 1, real quick. During the third year of King Jehoiakim, reign in Judah, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon came to Jerusalem to besiege it. The Lord gave his hand to King Nebuchadnezzar and permitted him to take some of the sacred objects from the temple of God. So basically, what we have here is that God allowed for this to happen. And the reason that God allowed this to happen was, once again, we have to go back into what we've been covering all this time. The people of Israel were hard hearts. They were basically going against God's will. They were resistant. They wouldn't listen. And basically, God let this happen. But understand that God makes these things happen, and it's not for our understanding, but it's for His greater will. Yeah. Right? Mhm. So we have Babylon, we have Jerusalem. Babylon sieges um, Jerusalem. They take captives, and David, I'm sorry, Daniel is one of them. Daniel had three friends. They were Hananiah, Michelle, yeah, and Azura. Yeah. And basically, the king of Babylon ordered these guys to be seized as well. They were young. They were from good backgrounds in Israel.
So they were like the cream of the crop, like the
Correct.
best of the best. So
Correct.
like if you're gonna seize anybody, you're not gonna seize like the worst of the worst. They're like,
So the reason why the king ended up grabbing these guys and the best, the king of the crop, was basically because at some point he wanted them to serve in his royal service. He wanted them to be trained for a certain amount of years. And we're going to go and serve him. Um, however, Daniel was determined. Daniel was very obedient to God, and basically, you know, how he felt being a captive, being in a different land, being taken from his home, and having to do with all this. God always has a plan. And this is going to be our topic today. It's basically that it's God's will and God's plan, just like what we're facing today um, in regards to this coronavirus. God has a master plan. Right now, it's not for us to never understand, but it is His plan, His way, and His will, and we have to understand it. Now, also understand that God would never give you a set of tasks or a task that you can handle and that He's not willing to provide for you. So just moving ahead a little forward, basically in verse number 17 of chapter 1, it says, God gave these four young men an unusual aptitude for understanding every aspect of literature and wisdom, and God gave Daniel the special ability to interpret the meaning of visions and dreams. So once again, although God had basically taken Daniel and his friends away from his homeland, and now they were captives in Babylon and working for this other king. Basically, God always equips you with whatever it is, whatever resources you need, whatever is necessary to be able to basically will.
It's funny because I was reading today that when you mull things over and over in your head, that's worrying. And that causes anxiety and it causes fear. And the opposite of that is even though you can't find, the answers within yourself, that you, on top of, waiting on God and praying to God, but you seek fresh perspective from people that are wise. So that's kind of the same thing because they're saying that they were blessed like with wisdom, and there's always people going to have that wisdom. And not necessarily am I talking about like turning on the news and flooding your head with all this stuff. It's people who offer perspectives on what's going on right now that they can relate it back to the Bible so that you understand that this is not a new problem. This is something that's that has roots. You know.
So, basically, the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, uh, basically ended up having this big dream, and he needed this dream to be basically interpreted. He asked for all his wise men, for all his magicians, for all his fortune tellers to basically interpret this dream, but they were unable to do so.
Well, they weren't just unable. He didn't tell them what the dream was. He said, "Tell me what the dream is, and then tell me what it means." And nobody. That's how he knew nobody could do it because
Well,
they.
right. Well, Nebuchadnezzar was no dummy. He basically he was gonna allow for someone to pull a fast one on him and lie to him, and basically, as king, basically a lot of people come up to you and tell you what you want to hear. You know, so these guys came back and they said, "Listen, there's no way that we are able to go ahead and number one is predict what it is that you went ahead and had that dream about, and then follow up with that and with what does it mean? We have no idea. There's no way. So here comes Daniel, and Daniel hears about that the king basically says, "I'm going to put all these guys to death." So Daniel says, "Wait a minute, before you go ahead and do that, um, I'm able to go ahead and basically interpret your dream."
Right.
So this is the second topic of this reading here, and it's basically Daniel. If you go to verse number 17 in chapter 2. So it's Daniel 2, verse 17. And it reads like this. It says, Then Daniel went home and told his friends, okay, what had happened. He urged them to ask God of heaven to show them his mercy by telling them the secret, so they would not be executed along with the other wise men of Babylon. That night the secret was revealed to Daniel in a vision. Then Daniel praised God of heaven. He said, Praise the name of God forever and ever, for he has wisdom and power. He controls the course of world events.
Right.
So that tells you everything right there. Prayer. Prayer is very powerful. Okay. When you pray to God for something to happen, my thing is, as long as your heart is pure and you're 100%, basically, He will answer your prayers. Prayer is powerful.
Yeah, and I mean, so and from there is it just connected huge for me. A dream is it's talking about that God will talk to you in the dream, so God will reveal the dreams. He's got that wisdom, but then it just trails it all the way to what we're doing today as well, world events. So it's like in the small stuff and in the big stuff, He wants to be there for us through all of it. So that's what.
So yeah, so that those verses right there tell you that prayer is powerful and that God will answer your prayers as long as they are pure. So I don't know if you caught the little end of it where I read, let's see, He controls the course of world events. That being said, I mean, this is going back centuries and centuries, and it's no different from what's going on today. Once again, this coronavirus situation, that's a world event. Guess who's in control of that? God is.
It's really hard, especially when and what populations it's affecting more profoundly than others. But I feel that it brings a little comfort in knowing that it has a purpose, although we may not understand that. Like it doesn't even fit in our head, but neither does God's wisdom, God's plan. I mean, we wouldn't even begin to understand. And, if you choose to fear it or choose to be consumed by the negativity of it, then you're going to miss the opportunity to grow from it and, to grow closer to God is kind of what, to grow in your faith, especially.
So just to keep moving forward, in regards to the dream that the king had, it was it was a dream. It was a frightening dream. The dream involved the head of a statue that was made of fine gold, chest and arms were silver, its belly and thighs were bronze, its legs
It's very
were iron,
specific.
its feet were in combination. Now, all these things had a purpose. The dream had the vision that he had a purpose, and what it was God telling the king that there were going to be, quite a few nations that were coming after his. That his would ultimately crumble. You had the Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans,
Egyptians.
and each of those nations, they all collapsed as a result of their unfaithfulness to God, them worshiping other idols and worshiping, statues and things that weren't godly.
And I feel like that's what we're doing now. So
Right.
I mean, it's pretty scary to think about it that way, but, I feel like God's patience, he's slow to anger, but at the end of the day, when he says enough, it's enough. And, what does that mean for us? I don't know. I mean, looking back in all different chapters of the Bible, I'm like astounded at how repetitive it is, how many chances he gives, and then how many times he wipes out um, communities, and I know they can say that's a cruel God, but you also talk about him being just, and him giving everyone a chance to come to him through Jesus.
Correct. So this is what we're ultimately getting at. It's Christ. Basically, the dream was interpreted, and this is what Daniel had to say in regards to the dream. And I'll read it to you real quick. I can't basically describe it unless I read it. So we're going to go to Daniel 2, verse number 36. The dream, it says here, now I will tell you the king what it means. Your Majesty, you are the greatest of kings. The God of heaven has given you sovereignty, power, strength, and honor. He has made you the ruler over all the inhabited world and has put even the wild animals and birds under your control. You are the head, which is the head of gold. But after your kingdom comes to an end, another kingdom inferior to yours will rise and take your place. So it's just telling him, Daniel's telling him right there that once that the king's, Babylon's kingdom has basically uh, come to an end, another kingdom will rise as a result of that. An inferior kingdom will rise and take place. That kingdom has fallen, yet a third kingdom, represented by bronze, will rise and rule the world. Following that kingdom, there will be a fourth kingdom, as strong as iron. The Babylonians, the Persians, the
Egyptians.
Greek, the Romans. So, these are all kingdoms that failed. They weren't godly. They did not follow God and worship idols. And at the end of the day, our God is a jealous God, and you have to give him his rights. So the kingdom was smashed and crushed in all previous empires, just as iron smashes. So we go fast forward to verse 44. During the reign of those kings, okay, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed or conquered. So right now, Daniel is interpreting the dream. And his dream, God gave him the vision that those kingdoms will fail and they will be destroyed. Okay. However, there will be one kingdom that will basically be successful. All right. So he's already getting them ready for the future. All right. So that's very powerful. That's very powerful. It will crush all these kingdoms into nothing, nothingness. It will stand forever. That is the meaning of the rock, cut from the mountain, hewn not by human hands, that crushed to pieces the statue of iron, bronze, clay, silver. The great God will show the king what will happen in the future. So,
So
what do
powerful.
you what do you think that he's referring to when he said that a kingdom that will last forever.
Eternal, like
So,
eternal
just
kingdom.
to give you a little hint, he's talking about Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Okay,
the rock,
correct.
the real
Jesus
rock,
Christ is going to
not
be
this
that
one.
kingdom. That kingdom is going to be Jesus Christ. And that Jesus Christ is coming, and there's a reason why Jesus Christ is coming. We we can do it. God has given us chance after chance, opportunity after opportunity, and
And
each
we're still
chance,
struggling.
even today, even today, even after every chance and every opportunity, we continue to fail. And my thing is, as long as we continue to fail him, these things will continue to happen. And this is Christ is our answer. Christ is the answer to everything that's going on. Christ is the answer to everything that will go on. This is not it. And I'm referring in regards to today. I'm talking about today.
Right. I mean, it's just very profound to think that even after we know what we know, and we are Christians, or we're trying to follow Jesus or God, or that we're on this journey, right? But we still continue to sin, because that's our nature. We have a sinful nature, and we still can't get it right. And that is why we are so passionate about using our platform to get people to just have a conversation about, if you don't believe in God, then what do you believe in? What kind of is the foundation for your moralistic code or your compass? So we're just trying to plant the seeds of positivity, and not only just positivity, but then getting you to realize, or to look for your own personal relationship with God. And then, obviously open yourself up to having that solid cornerstone in your life, which is Jesus Christ. And that's like why we're doing this. We're not doing this more like for us, because we're going to do what we do for us. But we need to figure out a way to bring people to Christ, because it seems like every day more and more it's becoming more important, more prudent, and more like timely. Like, I feel like time is running out, and like every time you look around, I mean, 1,000 people, more, have corona today. It's like, we're getting to that point where chances are running out.
So, folks, just a couple of key points here, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, but one is God puts us in situations where we might be uncomfortable, where we might experience turmoil, difficulties, struggles, just as today. This is a prime example. However, we will overcome. We will overcome because God would never put you in a position where He cannot come through for you. He will provide for you. He will provide for you.
The funny thing is that when I think of that, everybody that I had spoken to on any given day would say at least once, "I'm so tired of this. I need a time out." Like, whoa, and they were like complaining. And now that your everyday routine has been disrupted, you have an issue, or we have an issue, because we're not doing what we normally wanted to do, but yet we were complaining about what we were doing. So, I asked you to just kind of reverse it. Like, are we just so comfortable being uncomfortable that we create that discomfort? Like, God is giving us an opportunity that is very rare, and to be centered at home more, to have more conversation, to have more
Quality
time.
time.
So I feel like while there's people who are dying, and that is profound and serious, and our hearts go out to them, and obviously we include them in our everyday prayers. But at the same time, what are you doing with this time? To kind of elevate where you are spiritually.
Correct. So, key point number two is that, if you are determined and obedient, God will always provide. He will equip you with whatever is necessary, provide you with whatever resources you need to be able to go ahead and succeed and get through that tough part, that tribulation.
And I think, don't mistake obedient for doing everything right all the time,
Correct.
because that's not,
It's impossible.
it doesn't
You're
even
not
exist.
right.
Except in Jesus. But, it's that connection spiritually that lets you know, like, do better tomorrow or try again, or you keep better, just that awareness is that way to obedience.
Correct. Three would be, prayer works, folks. God answers those prayers, and by praying, you are expressing your need of God. So understand that prayer does work. God is in control. You're not in control. I'm not in control. God is in control. And
Right. One thing I really started to recognize about control is that we're pretty much all control freaks because we like controlling things. But the reason we're having an issue is because this virus is the unknown, right? It's an unknown. We don't know if we're going to go out and get it or whatever. But take a step back and think about, do you know what's going to happen tomorrow? Anyways, you don't. So you're not in control of tomorrow. You're not in control of coronavirus. All you're in control of is your actions, what you do spiritually, mentally, and physically for yourself and for your family. So take control of that and stop trying to control all this other stuff that's going on out here and kind of just use the time to center all those key pieces.
some of the things that have been working for us, there are people that are consistently tuned into the news and to all the negativity that comes through. And my thing is, as people of faith, you're going to have to understand that you're going to have to be able to turn those things off and focus on God. Like I said, if you can spend some time, reading scripture, if you can spend some time in prayer, we already discussed how prayer works. How you need to be obedient. My thing is, I know that things will turn around.
Like we said, I mean, there's Bibles that the New Living Translation, obviously it's easier to read. I actually bought this Bible. It's the Joel Osteen Bible. And I think it's New Living Translation
It is,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's called Hope for Today Bible. It actually has little explanation and excerpts in there that actually help you understand what you're reading. So that actually helpful. YouVersion on your phone actually has plans to read. But if that's like too much, then you can just read like the daily verse. It's starting somewhere. And remember that God is a God of, he's a very direct God. So if he wants you to get a message and you're tuning into these different channels, not the negative channels, he's going to send you a message. He's going to get what he needs to get to you. But you're opening yourself up, for it if you're looking for it as well. So as I, seeking you shall find. So, it's one of those things that we have to be cognizant of the fact of what we are filling our buckets with. Is it negativity or is it positivity? And is it spiritual? Is it not spiritual? So that's one of the things, one of the connections we're trying to make consistently with you guys is that if you're taking care of the physical aspect and you're doing nothing for yourself spiritually, you're going to keep, those cycles going. So, just in talking about Daniel, and talking about him being wise and about him being chosen and and him being obedient. These are all things that we can strive to be as individuals, and then collectively, if we keep supporting each other to get better in our walk with Christ, then that's going to be an amazing experience for all of us. And then again, our olive branches will extend even further,
Right.
getting into that second layer.
We have every reason to praise him. My thing is, especially for difficulties, God is faithful. He answers prayers. So stay focused. Stay focused on Him and on the Word, and understand that this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Just like in history, my thing is, through all these, hard times and turmoil and disobedience, God remains faithful. He will remain faithful with us as well.
And just remember that, we're sitting here and we're talking about that everything happens for a reason and that we're going to continue to praise that. Take a look at what position we're in as far as our business. So you can you should be able to grasp the magnitude of how much faith we have that is happening for a reason. And although we don't understand it, although we miss everyone, although we don't know what's going to happen, we don't know how this is going to, affect us or turn out, but we have all our eggs in God's basket. Like, we just have to,
Yeah,
we're all in.
we definitely, we're definitely all in. We definitely take comfort in knowing that He's in control and we're not. We praise Him. We read Scripture. We stay focused. We try not to tune into a whole lot of
I mean, we
news.
do
Negative. We
sprinkle,
do, but not to the
before we
point
used to
where we're
sprinkle
over.
Jesus, now we
Right.
sprinkle the world.
Not to the point where
Yeah.
we're overwhelmed
Yeah.
and therefore now we become nervous
Yeah.
and
And even a couple
anxious.
people, like I know Latasha and a couple people from the studio said they have to tune out Facebook because Facebook can be total consuming negative space. And we at one point contemplating getting off of Facebook, but then we said then there'll be less positivity when there's already less positivity coming in. So we decided that we were going to stay on, but we have to make sure that we balance that because all of that, whether it's news, Facebook, Instagram, any other platform where you can get negative information, it can be all consuming.
So this is very exciting. I mean, we already see bits and pieces in reference to Christ. Christ is yet to come. We're still in the Old Testament. We're working our way through the Old Testament, almost at the end of the Old Testament, and there we're going to be starting the New Testament, which is where Christ comes into existence, and He is the one that brings all this joy to my heart. He is the reason why this book here
Matters.
it matters to all of us. So once again, faith moves mountains. Understand that you need to basically follow your faith, and God is with all of us. Let's not forget those prayer requests. We haven't been in the studio for a while, so one thing is if you have special requests in regards to prayer, make sure you reach out to me or to Carla, whether it's through the band, whether it's through social media, messenger, whatever. And we will definitely add you to our prayer request list. With that being said, have a great night. Once again, Daniel, chapter 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chapter 1 and 2.
1 and 2. They're not that long, people. So please, I need your feedback. I want confirmation that what we're doing is actually helping you guys. Correct.
Yeah.
We're trying to plant the seed, the little mustard seed into you. And we want you guys to welcome it with open hearts and basically put it into your everyday lives and go out and make disciples. All right.
All right. Choose faith over fear. Yes.
Yes.
Right?
All right,
God bless
guys.
you guys.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.